This is Helios 44-2, a 58mm f2 vintage lens known for its swirly bokeh. And I'm making a cinematic travel film here in Greece using only this lens. Now, over the last year, I've made quite a few travel films, but lately they've all started to feel the same. So on this trip, I'm challenging myself. One lens, one focal length. No stabilization, fully manual focus, and I've actually never shot with it before. So in this video, I'll take you through my filmmaking process, from finding a story and scripting, to practical tips like composition, pulling focus, and well, seeing if it's possible to make a compelling short film with a cheap 50-pound lens. Okay, but why Helios and what makes it so special? Now, over the past few years, this lens has gained lots of popularity, and one of the main reasons is its swirly bokeh. Now, for this film, I'm pairing the Helios 44-2 with my main camera, which is the Sony A7S III, paired up with the newer 49mm ND filter. And last but not least, I'm using the Rode Wireless Pro for the audio and my Peak Design travel tripod. And of course, I'm using an adapter to make it fit my camera. Now, when it comes to finding a story for my film, I usually tap into how something makes me feel. For example, being here in Greece with people close to me. But I won't really know what the story is until like mid-trip or getting to the end of the trip or after the trip, because I never script things in advance. So the way I go about scripting is by writing random thoughts or things that people say that stick with me in my Notion page, and then later, when I'm in the script writing process, I use those notes as the base for my script. Okay, so first impressions, it is quite gritty, but I guess in like the best way possible. There's so much texture in the image, and I think this might be the first time that I'm not gonna be using grain in post. Being on wide aperture, there's definitely a lot of halation on the highlights, and overall the skin is super soft. I feel like it has quite a lot of imperfections, but I think that also is what makes this lens so special. Now, when you're unsure what your film is even gonna be about, the best way to keep flexibility in post is by having a variety of shots. So let me break down 3 compositions I use most to make my videos dynamic. Rule of thirds is a composition that places your subject either in the left or the right third of an image, and I use the subjects to help guide the viewer's eye to the direction I want them to be looking at, aka I'm looking out of the sea and that's where I want you to look at, but I use me as a subject to help guide your eye to the sea. One of my favorite tools when shooting is a tripod, and my favorite way of using it composition-wise is by having symmetrical shots. When things are aligned or balanced, it makes us feel calm or at ease. Now, with this lens, that's pretty tricky because having 58mm puts you up so close, and sometimes aligning things is a little bit tricky. Which begs the question, is shooting a short film solely on this lens a good idea? Depths, my favorite composition, the one that I think transforms your shot from basic to intentional. Adding depth or putting things in the foreground makes the scene feel more immersive, and it creates these layers that draws the viewer in. It immediately looks like you've put more effort in because you have. It also helps you tell your story. You can say more with less, and instead of getting 2 shots, you get 1. Now, this lens is manual focus only, which if you were to ask me 2 years ago, I probably would have been like, why would anyone choose manual focus over autofocus? But I found that pulling focus might be that one thing that can truly elevate your videos. Now, when we shoot, we want our viewers to look a certain way, and by pulling focus, we're able to control that even more. I pretty much do this in all my films, so here's a few examples on the screen. Last but not least, and probably the most important thing when it comes to telling your story, is having shot coverage. I have a rule that I always stick by, so I never miss a shot. 3 different compositions using 3 different focal lengths, which, as we know, in my case, unfortunately today, doesn't apply. Normally, I'd use a wide lens for location introduction, a medium for subject introduction, and then a close-up for action introduction. However, using this lens pushes you to think outside the box, still trying to get that wide, medium, and close-up, all while using 58mm.
So, Teja's had an idea that we should try put the Helios in my underwater housing. There's probably a 100% chance this will not work, but we're gonna give it a go. At the moment, I'm using a 20mm, and this is it 58mm?
Yeah.
This will be interesting, and also, When we do video, we keep everything on autofocus, and this is manual. So, what still happened to the focus? When I take it out, that's sharp. When I put it in then, it wasn't sharp anymore, but that might be the glass. Because the thing is with the 20mm, well, the particular one that we use, the Sony 20mm, has quite a good minimum focus. But when you have a curved bit of glass in front, which is this dome, and then you have an old lens like this, which has even more glass, that stacking of glass is going to make it even less sharp. It might be shit. What I'll do is I'll focus on something, let's say, half a meter in front of me, so then we get like bubbles. When we have the 20mm G, f4 gives us the sharpness we want when you have this dome. With this Helios, I think I put it on like between 10 and 16, and that looks much better. But still, as we know, it's not the most sharp.
Alice is ready with her big rig. You know what they say about big rigs? Small lenses.
I don't know how sharp it is, but how about you?
This has been quite a fun challenge, although somehow I am looking forward to go back to shooting on my normal lenses.
Like, it's a good challenge because lack of choices make you more decisive.
What are you guys even talking about?
Lenses.
What, this thing?
Yeah, have you ever shot with this lens? Go on, tell me.
I've never shot with the lens.
Any lens.
Any lens.
You normally shoot on a 24 to 70.
Yeah.
Would you be keen to do like a trip like this, shooting only on this lens?
I would if it had autofocus.
Okay.
It's like, I'll be fucked.
So before playing you the final film, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Artlist. When it comes to making videos, the base of every video is sound. And in the edit, all my films start with finding the right song. Now, I love working with stems. This is separate tracks for drums, bass, melody, vocals, because they help me with the pacing and the flow of the video without changing the song. Over the past year, they've came out with so many cool features, from LUTs, AI voiceover, AI photo and video generator, and now even Nano Banana, which basically lets you create the most precise edits, from changing facial expressions to removing distractions and so much more. And I'm looking forward to using that a little bit more for my thumbnails. So by clicking the link in my bio, you can get 2 months free on top of your yearly plan. So without further ado, let me play you the film, captured only on the Helios 44-2. You see, I always struggle putting feelings into words. You think it'd get easier over time, yet somehow I'm back at page 1. So I try to keep it simple and just write what's on my mind. I miss the sun on my face, salt on my skin, that slower pace, a little calm between the noise, small moments, simple joys. Now you see, with these trips, not everything goes the way you plan. And like anything in life, you gotta roll with it the best you can. I'm thankful for new places I get to see, sharing these moments before it all becomes a memory. So what are my thoughts on shooting with this lens based on my normal steps when it comes to creating a film? Let me be honest, as someone who likes to overshoot and have a lot of shot coverage, this lens isn't really plug and play and it's pretty tricky to use in quite a few scenarios. However, shooting manual focus at 58mm pushed me to get creative, and it kind of reminded me of my first days when I was starting out, shooting pretty much everything on the 50mm f1.8. I think for the price, the compactness and the swirly bokeh, and just for practicing becoming a better filmmaker, it's definitely worth a purchase, and you can always just have it in your camera bag because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's nice to have a little lens like that you're able to use for maybe some shots that you want to add a little bit more character to and make them a little bit more unique. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have the Helios 44-2 or a similar lens that I should try, then let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.